What's up, Wayne Barron here with darkflex.net, and we are inside of Windows 7, and we have VMWare Player enabled. And what we're going to be doing here is that we're going to be installing a virtual machine, and in our case we're going to be installing Windows 8, the 64-bit version. Now, whenever I first tried to install the 64-bit version of Windows 8, this was probably about 3 weeks ago, it gave me an error saying that the hardware V was disabled. And so I did a lot of research and found out that you had to go inside the BIOS in order to enable it. Well, I have a Lenovo, Lenovo G770 laptop. I contacted Lenovo, spoke with somebody in their hardware department, and the girl that I spoke with, she couldn't answer my question, so she put me on hold, and she went and asked somebody. She came back, she told me, she says, I'm sorry, sir, but if it's not enabled on your computer, then you will not be able to use that feature. Well, that made me mad, along with other issues with this company. And let's just put it this way, I will never ever buy another one of these laptops again. But anyway, so after some searching around and checking, I finally found a BIOS modification, or BIOS mod. So I downloaded it and flashed my BIOS with it, and it flashed like a charm. Not only was I able to enable the hardware V, which is for virtualization, which is to be able to run multiple operating systems on a single machine, which I was able to do to 32-bit. I could do that all day long, but I could not do the 64-bit until now. However, I was also able to go in yonder and up my dedicated memory for my video card from 64-bit, which is what Lenovo had it set at, to 128-bit. So that's 2 kicks for the company. I mean, they messed up twice. So anyway, this is not a product review. I want to do that later on. This right here is how to use the VMware Player to install Windows 8 64-bit. So what we want to do here is we want to create a new virtual machine. So let's click here, and then we are going to install from a disk file. And we have over here a drive that I've made up, which is, how big are you? You are 48.8 gigabytes, 42 with both the 32-bit and the 86, which I'm going to get rid of the 86 because I'm no longer going to use it. With the 64-bit right there, and yes, I do have a backup copy of that other file. So we're going to click on this. This right here is going to make this file our file. And so, but right now I've got it there, but I will install the operating system later. So let's click on next. We want to do Windows 8 64. You get a choice. This is 32 or 64, so I'm choosing 64. Click on next, and then it says browse to the location that I want it to be at. And like I said, I've got a place for it, which is right here, and inside of that folder, Windows 8. And then we're going to click on next, and we are going to give this one, since we've only got 42 gigs, we're going to give this one 30. We're going to give it 35 gigs, and we're going to split virtual disk into multiple files. And then we're going to click on next. I'm probably going to end up having to move some more disk space over to accommodate this system, but this is good for now. So let's do next, and then everything looks to be good. We're going to go in and change this to 48 megabytes. We're going to boost it up to about 4 gigs because I've got 8 gigs sitting in here. I did have 16 gigs, but the system keeps on crashing with 16 gigs in here. So anyway, with 8 gigs, I'm going to boost this up to 4 gigs there. So now let's click on finish. Now let's go over here and click on edit virtual machine settings. And then right here you can adjust how much memory that you want. And I want to put this thing at about 4 gigs, so that's good. And then hard disk space is fine. Floppy, we ain't worried about that. ISO, we got to browse and find our file again. Let's click right here and choose our file. and click on advanced. Everything looks good there. USB controllers, sound, everything looks to be good there. For some reason, whenever we jump into our display, into the operating system, the display here for mine is 1600 by 900, but the virtual machine will not pick up on the 1600. It gives me like 1440 by 900, so that's what I got to go by. So it gives me my sides of the windows is black for about an inch on each side, which ain't no big deal. Okay, let's go over here to options. Let's go ahead and do options here. Let's go ahead and enable map. And what you do here is that you add in drives or folders that you want to share with this one. And we're just going to add in one quick one here. We're going to add in our D drive. And then we click on next and then finish. And as you can see, it adds in our D drive. Okay, I went ahead and added in all my drives that I've got. So I got D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. And in order for you to be able to see these, you have, once you install the operating system, you got to install the tools. If you do not install the tools, then you will not be able to view anything within your network. You won't even be able to go online. So the tools have got to be installed, which we'll get to that as soon as we install the operating system. And so everything else looks good. That's our shared folders, and it is enabled now. It's still showing disabled, but it is enabled now. So let's go ahead and click OK. Alright, and now let's go ahead and click on the play button, and all things should go right. It should automatically start installing our operating system without giving us any issues. And it's saying the following software is available for download. Download and install VMware tools. So let's go ahead and download and install this, because this right here is what I was talking about. So let's go ahead and do that. And this is going to download and install it. And these right here are the three items, hardware. I've got my Realtek USB 2.0, which is being picked up. My Audio Techna AT 2020 USB microphone, which is what I'm talking through right now. Then my Acer Lenovo Easy Camera. And so all three of them are showing. And so that's good. So now what we got to do here is just scoot this thing up just a little bit so we can see everything. Well, let's minimize it that way. You can get it in this window. I made my window just a little bit too small here. Okay, let's go ahead and get this thing out of my way. The only thing this is doing is just downloading the software, so we're not going to worry about that right now. Okay, this right here, everything's set up because I am English and I am in the United States, so that's where we're going to be at here. Go ahead and click on next. Install now. The actual installation of the operating system really does not take that long. Believe it or not, I thought that it did, but it doesn't. Okay, we want to choose custom install Windows only. And we want to leave this as is, so let's go ahead and click on next. If you had multiple partitions, if you was going to install this on a different type of system instead of a virtual system, then you would have, if you had multiple partitions or multiple drives, it would show them all here, and you would always choose the one, because it would have a top one that would be dedicated for the operating system, which would be 100 megabytes. Then you would have this one. So anyway, we're going to leave that here. We're going to click on next. Well, let's go ahead and install that. And what this is going to do is the same thing in Windows Vista and Windows 7. This right here is just going to be copying files over, and it's installing the VMware, so it's playing with my window here. But anyway, it's going to be copying the Windows files, and then it's going to get ready for the installation. This usually takes, this is the longest part, is these two pieces right here. After it gets finished, them two just flies right on by. And it looks like it is, I believe it's already got that installed. We got a Windows message right here, VMware tools enables many features, blah blah. And I think that's what we just got finished installing. And just for the heck of it, let's go ahead and click install tools and see what it does. Make sure that you're logged into the guest operating system. Okay, we got to install. Once we get logged into the guest operating system, then we'll be able to go in and install this right here. And so what we just got finished installing a second ago was not for the operating system. And so but anyway, I'm going to let this thing ride out, and then I will be back in just a few minutes. We ran into an issue. I should have never did what I did, which was that first pop-up for the installing. What that installer did was that installer took over the virtual CD-ROM drive, and so it gave me a Windows error that basically halted my installation. So make sure you do not do that. So let's go over here to Player, Manage Virtual Machine Settings, and come over here to CD-ROM and see it's automatically picked up on the virtual machine player. What we want to do is go back and let it grab a hold of this, click OK, and choose Rescan, accept, click on Next, and okay, that's the system reserve file. We want to choose this one right here. Click on drive options. It's not going to give me the option to system restore will let me, so I'm just going to leave all this stuff alone. Click on next, and everything's already set up because it got about halfway through before the other installer started messing up stuff. So if the installer pops up and wants you to install something while you're in the process of installing your operating system within the virtual machine, click cancel on it, because if you do not click cancel on it, then it will take over your virtual CD-ROM drive, which is where your setup files is for your operating system. So just keeping that part in mind, you should be okay. And I just found that out myself. So anyway, I will be back here shortly. Well, it looks like we're almost done with the getting files ready for installation part of it. Got 1% left on that part. That part of it's done, so now it's going to be jumping over to the installing features. And now installing updates is going to be jumping up next, so we are almost completed with this part of the installation of Windows anyway. And so once it completes the finish up, it's going to restart. So let's go ahead and jump in here and help it along a little bit here. And there we go. Let's go ahead and scroll up here so we can see everything. Right here you can choose the color that you want for your operating system. And that would get real bright. Nah, not right now anyway. Let's go to let's go ahead and choose this sort of like a, I'm going to do a purple. So we're going to name this right here, PC name is going to be Cars Win 8. Okay, then we're going to come down here and click on Next. And we are going to choose Custom. Turn on sharing and connect to devices for home or work networks. No, don't turn on sharing or connect to devices for networks in public places. We are home, so we're going to choose this one. Automatically install important and recommended updates. We're going to leave that alone. Automatically get device drivers, apps, and info for new devices. We're going to leave that on. For all the help, the smart filtering, I'm going to cut that off, and that off. Click on Next, and we're going to leave all of this off, and then we're going to click on Next. Area reporting, we'll leave that on. Leave that one on, and leave both of them on. Turn on Windows location platform so apps can ask users. Nope. Let apps use my name and account picture. Nope. Click on Next, and then type in your email address. We're going to just type in, let's see here. Okay, typed in the email address, which is going to be hidden from this video. Click on Next. And it's checking for a Microsoft account right now. I'm not really sure if I've got one. I do not have a Microsoft account for that. Try that again. Okay, click on, you can use your Microsoft account to sign into Xbox Live, Windows Phone, and other Microsoft services. I do got a Microsoft account, and if I could go back, I'd go back and use that email address. And but anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and set up a new account for this system. Click on Next, and United States, alternate email. I'm not even going to worry about doing that. Select the question. Gotta do my favorite teacher. I used to call her Fox Cox because she was such a beautiful woman, and her last name, married name, was Cox. So let's go to Next, and it wants me to put in that information. So you gotta fill out the alternative stuff and all that other good information. Nope. Nope. Okay, and now let's click on Next. And the system is finishing up. And it has created the account, and when I installed this the first time, which was just the other day, I used one of my live mail accounts or my Hotmail account, so I didn't have to go through all this stuff. So if you got a Hotmail account or a live mail account, it's very advisable that you use it so you don't have to go through all that of creating a new account, which is fine. Now it gives me 3 Hotmail accounts, and this right here is just going to run through stuff. Yeah. Okay, looks like we are up and going here. Let's see if we can actually make this window wider here, if it will allow us. Nah, it's not going to allow us to make it wider. So anyway, let's see what we've got going on here. We have mail, a calendar, Internet Explorer, a store, SkyDrive, maps, photos, people, messaging, I reckon this would be finance and stocks and so forth, ESPN, news, weather, and our desktop. And over here is Bing and travel, games, and music. But we're going to go over to our desktop. So let's go ahead and click on our desktop. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have successfully installed Windows 8 into a virtual machine, and this is the 64-bit version of Windows 8. Next thing that we've got to do is we have to hit Windows on your keyboard. You hit the Windows button and R, and that is your run command. And then we want to type in d:/setup.exe. And this right here is going to install no. Okay, that's not the right thing here. Let's go to manage virtual CD-ROM, and it's still sitting on this one. Let's see if it's okay. I'm back. If you go inside of your program files, VMware VM Player, and click on the windows.iso file. Click on that, then you click OK. Alright, then we come over here and click Windows R. Okay, now let's click on d:// and we're going to choose Setup 64, and we're going to click on OK. And this is going to install the VMware tools that I was telling you about earlier. So let's click on yes. If you're running a 32-bit system, then you will want to install the other one, because it gave you 2 choices, either 64 or 32. And in my case, I've got the 64-bit installed, so for 64-bit operating system, so I need the 64-bit tools. Let's check out and see what all we're going to have here. It's going to install the following drivers: the Para Virtual SCSI, Virtual Printing, Memory Control Driver, PS2 Mouse Driver, USB Mouse Driver, SVGA Driver, Audio Driver, VMXNet3 NIC Driver, the Volume Shadow Copy Service Support, WMCI driver, for shared folders. If you don't have this one installed, then you do not get the shared folders. And then the Wise multimedia support, driver to enhance your remote desktop multimedia experience. I'm going to choose to have that feature enabled, and we're going to have everything installed inside of this location. So let's click on next. Okay, so it's not offered for this guest operating system, so I don't get that extra goodies. But as long as I can use the remote desktop, I'm happy. And so I could really care less for the added supports and so forth. It just let us know that we have new apps that can open web pages. The installation wizard has successfully installed VMware tools. Click Finish to exit the wizard. Click Finish. And it says HR whatever this is. Tap to choose. We don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and choose yes to restart the system. And I'll be right back once it is restarted. Okay, we are back up, and this is basically what it shows. And that is definitely not the right time. It is actually 10:43 here, and so that's going to have to be changed. But that is accurate. This is April 13th. But this is what it's going to show whenever Windows 8 first boots up, and I don't mind it. Some people might think that it's annoying. I don't mind it for it to pop up and show either the same image, especially this one. It's a pretty cool picture. So what you do is that you click inside of it, which I'm just now clicking inside of the window here. So now what you got to do is you got to click here in order to enable your logon. And then once you log into the system, it will show you the options that we saw before. Now there is a way to bypass this, and I will do another video on how to bypass that. So let's go ahead and jump into the desktop, and then there's still a lot of stuff that I don't really know about this system yet, so let's go ahead and click on this folder and just open up a folder. Okay, right here on the computer, if you remembered, right here we listed out all of the drives that we want to share. Since we installed the tools that we did earlier, this shared folder right here will list all of our drives, our D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and our K drives. So these folders right here, or these drives right here, are actually what's setting on my system right here. And so pretty cool. Alright, this is Wayne Barron with DarkEffects.net. This is Windows 8 inside of VMware Player, and I will post more videos on different other things that can be done within Windows 8 running inside of the VMware. Though keep in mind, the stuff that I'm going to be posting from here on out, unless it's specific to VMware Player, will mainly be for Windows 8 specifically. And so, but anyway, y'all have a rocking weekend. Stay warm, cool, wherever you're at. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.